nicer, and every lobbyist in New Jersey was there hitting us up. But they would have blown the shotgun started like Jenna or what?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to order the meeting of the East Amwell Township Committee.
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee has been provided by a notice sent to the official newspapers of the Township, posted to the Township website, posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, and filed with the Township Clerk as required by law on January 2nd, 2024. Ms. Casper Bloom?
Here.
Ms. Enton?
Here.
Mr. Nardi?
Here.
Mr. Dendis?
Here.
Mayor DePiero?
Here. All right, will everyone rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Everyone has the announcements they can read from the agenda itself. Without objection, we're open to the public for agenda items. Does anyone have a comment they would like to make? Anything on the agenda? Okay. Hearing none, without objection, closed to the public. All right, item 7, we're going to carry the minutes till August, the last executive and regular session. Item 8, special discussions, presentations. So we'll start with a proclamation. So our team of rescue squads was able to help someone this past month, and this underscores the importance of us having good 24/7, 365 EMS services, and we're very pleased that this individual was able to be helped. We have prepared a proclamation to thank our EMS squads for the work. Let me read that to everyone. Whereas every day across our country, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, 911 dispatchers, and other first responders rush to fellow Americans' aid with compassion and life-saving strength. Whereas on July 5th, 2024, a coordinated response involving the Amwell Valley Ambulance Corps, HMC Paramedics, Hopewell Fire Department, and Hopewell EMU was initiated for a rider who'd been thrown from a horse on Melissowitz Road. And whereas, with the help of bystanders, CPR and airway management was administered, successfully regaining a pulse. And whereas, upon arrival, EMTs from Amwell Valley and Hopewell EMU promptly and efficiently immobilized the patient. And whereas the patient received further treatment by 100 paramedics before being transported to a nearby landing zone staffed by 48 fire company, and where the New Jersey State Police helicopter North Star had landed. And whereas the patient was transferred to the helicopter and flown to Robert Wood Johnson Hospital in New Brunswick. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Township Committee of the Town of East Amwell would like to thank and recognize all of the volunteers who selflessly gave themselves for the welfare of others, and acknowledge the following dedicated volunteers responsible for saving the life of an East Amwell Township resident. And I'll just read these briefly because we appreciate the service. Amwell Valley Ambulance Corps, Lisa Connor, EMT, Rob Connor, Driver Support, Paul Hutchins, Chief, HMC Paramedics Lambertville, Mr. Opperman, MICP, Mrs. Raper, MICP, Hopewell Valley Fire Department and EMU, Sue Conover, EMT, Angelo Leviza, EMT, Jason Reed, EMS Chief, bystanders Vanessa Hussick and Kelsey Chiuro, hope I said that right, proclaim this 11th day of July 2024. So let me say thank you to everyone for your work. We appreciate it. I only have one proclamation here.
I have copies here for
Okay,
everyone.
good. So we have copies. So Ethan, I guess I see you're here. We'll make sure to get you one. Is anyone else from the other squads here? Well, we'll make sure Ethan gets one, and we thank him and everyone.
Ethan asked for a couple minutes to give a report too. Is that possible?
Yes. Yeah, Ethan, do you want to come up? You said you wanted to report. Paul, you coming too? Please come on up.
He's doing the numbers later.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so just a quick status from us. We're working to get in writing a mutual aid agreement from 49 and 17. We're just working on the wording for that. So we're going back and forth right now. So we'll hopefully have that complete by the end of the month make sure that East Amwell is covered 24/7 while we're getting ourselves situated on our way to 24/7 coverage. All right, and then Paul will go over the numbers to.
So I did provide it to Linda, and I
Excuse me,
believe
Paul,
you.
before you go on, is there anything you could share about the nature of what you guys are agreeing at this point, or is it premature?
It's a little bit premature right now. Once it's done, I'll be happy to share
Okay.
the agreement in full and the agreement itself.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sorry, Paul. Go ahead,
No,
please.
totally fine. I believe everyone did get a copy of this, but I just wanted to hit some of the highlights. This does discuss what our expanded hours became as of June 1st. As Ethan has discussed, we have been in constant communication with our neighboring agencies, letting them know if there are any increases. We did, for example, staff on Thursday, July 4th, because we had the members available. That was not something we normally are doing. Through the month of June, we had a total of 33 calls in our primary territory that covers East Amwell, West Amwell, and part of Delaware. 25 of those we were able to respond to. Out of the 33, 18 of those were in East Amwell Township, specifically, which 14 we responded to. Our response time with the increase of staffed hours has also decreased dramatically. From January through May, our time from dispatch to patient was roughly 10 minutes, 10 seconds, and we got it down to about 7.5 through June. So we are progressing. We're, in my opinion, going in the right direction. We're able to cover many more calls than we have in the past. And as of today for July, the numbers look great. We've only missed 2 out of 12, I believe.
Well, I appreciate both your reports and your efforts in this. Yeah, it is important that we have certain coverage. I think you're benefiting from having more of the college EMTs around now.
A couple are college EMTs. We did also have 3 EMTs pass the course.
Oh, good.
Lisa has been cleared, and we're still working on 2 others getting cleared.
Excellent. So how many regular EMTs are you up to now, if you know?
Ballpark, I want to say about a dozen.
Okay, good. Well, I appreciate the progress. I'm sure other folks in the Township Committee do as well. Does anyone have questions?
No, I didn't. I hadn't heard anything from Amwell or Flemington or Lambertville after last month. I did get a hold of Flemington, and they said the same. There's an agreement. I think it has to do with the money. They sent a money agreement over originally on the email, and then it got passed back and forth, I guess, between the attorneys. It sounds like there's.
Yeah, we sent so Flemington sent a rate back to us, and we sent it to our attorney to finalize it.
Yeah, it sounds like that's word.
So
Are they agreeing to stay on dual alert with us through this process?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
That's important.
all the calls right now during the day are on dual alert. So there's no lapse in coverage.
Okay.
At all.
Do you, for the folks that are here, because I think that's one thing that's out there, can you guys explain to the folks, even on the committee and the audience, what the difference between dual alert means and going to mutual aid?
So with dual alert, our next due agency is alerted at the same time as we are.
Right.
So there's no delay in response from any agency.
Right.
Whereas if it was a mutual aid, if we are on a call and we can't get a second truck out, it goes 4 minutes before the next agency is alerted.
Okay.
So there is a delay in that.
Right. That's one thing I wanted, why it's important for the our partners to stay on dual alert with us, right? That's
Correct.
what I wanted to just share that with the broader community and committee. I don't know if you guys know the difference between that or not. And it's just something you might not know if you're not from that world.
I know about it.
So I think that's important, and I'm glad that is, and I'm glad, I'm happy you guys are talking. I'm happy the chiefs are talking, the presidents are talking. I think that's all good. I mean, we'll see where we go from here.
Yeah, I was going to thank you as well, Paul, for reaching out. I know one of the issues before was the importance of communication, so I appreciate that. Yeah, you're in talks and, conversing back and forth with the other squads to coordinate. I think that's important. And Ethan, I think it's great that you're able to work on mutual, I guess, dual response now while you guys are working on additional numbers. So I would say keep that up, keep a look for the additional numbers, because if we have a chance of keeping it, in-house here, we'll need to be able to provide that. So if you keep updating us, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else
Thank
you guys
you.
want to add? All right.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Did you have something, Francis?
Yeah, because I heard about last week's drama and the fact that it was a local EMT who was able to be there, who lives on the Lizowich Road, helped to save that 81-year-old horseman's life. And the statistics for a person of that age going through that, of surviving, period, is very low, and a testament to the squad and the people who are there and showed up. And the other thing is that I don't know how much you're giving right now, but I think the $20,000 or something that goes to the squad is about the same figure that it was back in 1995 when I moved here. So I would think if they're diddling with money, some income to support them while things are moving in the right direction would be appreciated. And I stood around while all three squads spoke and talked in that parking lot last month till 11, 12 or whatever, and worked things out. So it's a good process. It takes time, and I believe most squads are also on dual calls. It's not unique to just East Amwell. Lambertville notifies Hopewell or Mercer or somewhere else, and in the northern part of the county. So the dual notification is great, and keep it up, but it's not unique or any indication that East Amwell is a weak sister. It's a recovering and growing, and money would help. That's my 2 cents, and I'm not elected to anything other than horse's ass. I do have a check for you, though.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and that does remind me, I do appreciate, I think for folks who are listening that aren't aware, so after we had a meeting about this last time, it was great that all three of the squads on their own went outside after the meeting was over and did have an extended discussion. It was the kind of communication that we were asking for, and it was really great, and I appreciate that. And I think that's a positive thing, and I appreciate that Paul's telling me, all the squads are continuing with that. I think that's the kind of thing that makes it possible, because it's an important function for everybody. So I'm glad, Francis. Thank you for mentioning that, because I wanted to, give our appreciation as a township committee for folks communicating and working together. So,
Money would help, though. If you were gonna give $50,000 last month to Raritan, some more money to them now could help ease the transition. It could always be adjusted later.
well, I appreciate that, Francis. I mean, you always remind us about the cost for residents, rightly too. So, I mean, clearly the township is willing to put money into whatever we work out. What we're trying to make sure is that we work out a system that's going to work, because as you see with, we had a proclamation, now we had one a couple weeks ago. When someone has a medical emergency, there just can't be any doubt that someone's going to be there right away. That's why we appreciate the work of volunteers so much. But it's so costly and it's so difficult to provide these days. So, so you understand, we are, Francis, totally behind whatever it takes, including putting something in financially. We want to help the process get to a place where we know we've got reliable service. And so I appreciate the gentleman showing up today and telling us what they're working on and their efforts. And again, thank you for work that everybody did for this East Amwell resident.
Do you guys have an update on him or her or anything? Have you heard anything further? I
Yeah,
hate to see a hand.
Yeah, we heard from the family that he had stabilizing cervical surgery yesterday. He has several broken cervical vertebrae. Thank goodness there was no traumatic brain injury, there was no spinal cord injury. He is able to answer questions and move his toes. He remains on a ventilator as things heal, but by the grace of God, he's still with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, amen, that's
Before
right.
she sits down, I'd like to recognize her. Lisa was our EMT that was on the scene that lives on Elizabeth.
Thank you,
you.
Lisa.
Thank you,
I
Appreciate it. All right, look at that. Francis giving a check too. Good job, Francis. Love.
And I'm cheap.
Let the record reflect that Francis is cheap. Right? Thank you. That's really awesome.
And doesn't give a
Appreciate it.
damn who knows.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. So actually, speaking of Mike, Mike wanted to give an update on,
I'll
Oh,
come
yeah.
up to the microphone, mainly for the people at home.
Thank you.
As you know, as most people know, I've been putting an article in the VIP every month and about planning and, we're gonna have our.
so that everybody knows this for OEM,
Oh, yeah,
emergencies.
Office of, I was appointed Deputy Coordinator of Office of Emergency Management for East Amwell.
And Mike, I'm sorry, can you move your mic a little closer, because there's some sound issues at home, so if anybody wants
Oh,
to
okay.
speak a little.
Close enough.
I know you have a loud voice, but.
No, I've got a
just if
big
you
mouth,
want.
that's why I stay away. Anyway,
I'm going to put that on the record.
Yeah.
yeah, you can. I'm a Pollock with a smartphone too, but anyway, as I had mentioned in the VIP, we're gonna have a heck of a hurricane season, and just the remnants from Beryl caused nearly $3 billion in damage across the country.
Wow.
And we got lucky, it went north of us. I was worried about it. I want to reach out to all the residents that are listening to me now. Go on to our East Amwell website, go to the little envelope and sign up for the alerts for OEM. I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna be hot tomorrow, but I will tell you when we might be impacted by a storm, which is going to negatively impact our community. That's pretty much the biggest thing. In September, I'll start doing a planning thing. I've been meeting with Mike and Dante, and we're going to try and coordinate something to get some more community involvement in OEM. That's all. Have a great summer, everybody.
Thanks,
So
Mike.
one thing I will, if I can share, I don't know if I've made any good decisions yet so far, but asking Mike to join us, I think, was probably one of the better decisions I asked the mayor to do, and I appreciate what Mike's been doing. We're trying to lean forward in the OEM department. We've always had OEM, and it's always done a good job. But all the towns around us in the aftermath of Ida have become more proactive with communicating with the community, and I think Mike's the person that's going to try to take us to that side of it. And part of that's getting folks to sign up for our alert system, right? I think, do we even have 200 people signed up? I mean, I know you gave me a number at one point.
Last time I looked, it was 187.
187,
and that includes
right.
me and a couple other people up
It
here.
includes all of us in this room,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah,
And,
it's
you know,
about 5% of our community.
and the people listening to us.
We are going to put a flyer in the tax bill mailing when it goes out in a couple of weeks that tells them how to sign up for email and Facebook. So hopefully that'll get us some more people.
Yeah, I mean,
Send an email to you?
No, if they go on the website, there's a little button that says notify me, and if they click on that, it'll direct them how they can either get it by text, email, or both.
Okay.
And you can sign up for different categories.
So Mike's going to try to keep us in a forward-leaning posture with his storms, and I think it's a good thing for the community. So we talked even about, and I think you would know more than I don't think East Amwell even has gates up for like
Not yet.
flooded roads.
Not
and
yet.
stuff.
We have a few roads that need gates.
Like some of the surrounding towns, they know their areas that flood all the time. This is something we got to connect with Jason on. And, OEM shuts the roads down before, when these streams crest and things like that. So those are things that, like, Mike's going to help us work on. I think it's important. And I don't know all the roads that flood. I assume Jason does.
Cyril Mill and Elizabeth.
Backbrook.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we
Yeah,
can
no,
name a dozen probably.
Yeah, no,
but-
yeah, I've talked to Jason, he is aware of
Yeah.
them, but I wanna underscore your point, Mike, because I appreciate everything that Mike Gronkowski's done since starting. I mean, when we had concerns over the outages, power outages, Mike had just been appointed, and so he was involved when we were talking about making sure we can open the building up if we need it, make sure we get, place to get water, charge cell phones, and Mike was on top of the OEM side of it as well. It's something that we think is really important, and we really appreciate all you're doing, because this is, it's like EMT services, some of these basic life, important things, we have to address, so.
yeah, we have, Hunterdon County has a meeting with JCP&L upper-ups on the 25th. So, to try and coordinate, because power is a major problem, especially along the mountaintop, so.
Is it open to the public?
No, nope, not yet.
Yeah.
I'll have one here that'll be open to the public.
Right. Yeah, that's a county-sponsored one to reach out to the municipalities, but,
Yeah, for the entire county, yeah.
okay, thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Anyone else?
And
Thank you,
I'm
Mike.
trying to work on getting him a desk somewhere in the building, so
Okay.
maybe in our new shed.
It's got the,
No, we already
And we shot down the air conditioning for it, so it's gonna be
I
hot.
thought you were gonna say that,
We're not buying the air conditioning.
fire police truck.
Do we have one?
No.
No, that's his.
It's the mobile.
His mobile, right, his EMT office. Okay, great, thanks for that. We're up to 10, I guess, on the agenda. So ordinance 2408, second reading.
An ordinance of the Township of East Amwell, County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, adopting the financial agreement, accepting the application for tax exemption under NJSA 40A:20-1, authorizing tax exemption and payment in lieu of taxes in connection with the Ringo's Apartments housing development, and confirming that the Ringo's Apartments housing development helps to satisfy a need for affordable housing in the township.
Okay, folks may remember that affordable housing is already being constructed on this site, right in the heart of the town. This proposal would involve the renovation of the historic house with the purple shutters that's on that same property at the front, and it would convert it into 2 units of affordable housing, which would help us with our affordable housing obligations. We're about to get some new numbers from the state on what the state's going to require that we do in the next round. So we're always looking to make sure we stay in compliance with that. This ordinance would approve an agreement with the UAW for this, and would approve a pilot as payment in lieu of taxes that would maximize the financial benefit to our residents. Pilots, as we talked about before, are ways that we can keep much more of our taxes in the town. And so for certain projects, we're able to do it, and so we would use that here. Bev, is there any other thing we should say by way of introduction or explanation?
Yeah, I mean, that was the main thing. It's, if you're paying, $1,000 in taxes with the payment in lieu of taxes, normally for the taxes, 10% would stay in the town and 90% goes to the county, but with the payment in lieu of taxes, it flips. So we get to keep 90% here. So it's, it's good for us to move forward with this program.
The other thing I neglected to say initially was that some folks in the town have been coming up to us and saying, what's to be done with that house in the front? We don't want it torn down. It's a historic structure, and so by renovating it, we actually keep it, which is something that was important to our historic preservation committee folks and others. So anyone else have an intro comment before we open to the public? Okay, without objection, we're open to the public for comments on this ordinance. Anyone like to speak? And Francis, please.
Yeah, Francis Gavigan. My only statement about it is that I know there was a lot of noise at the time of the approvals and everything about where these have not gone well elsewhere, and so that the old Ronald Reagan trust but verify, that the economics and the accounting as it moves forward is closely watched so that you do get something. 90% of nothing is still nothing, but it'd be good to be actually getting something. And a watched pot never boils over, if you want to go to a Democratic quote.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, we we certainly will have in our agreement, as is written, the obligation of us to get the benefits that we've bargained for. Hearing nothing else from the public, without objection, we're closed to the public at this time. Do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
And a second? Okay, voice vote, Linda?
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes. All right, item 11 on the agenda.
Okay. Capital ordinance providing for various 2024 general capital improvements by and in the Township of East Amwell in the County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, appropriating $45,000, therefore from the Capital Improvement Fund to pay for the cost thereof.
Okay, by way of explanation, folks who were here last time will recall that there were a couple items that went into this capital ordinance 2409. One was recycling trailer with shed, $5,000 one we've had is no longer usable, and it's been a request of our environmental committee and DPW to replace that, and we went through, I think we're dealing with the old one, right, Mike? There was some plans
I think
for,
he's trying to get rid of it, but it went on municipal bid, and I don't think anybody took it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna end up breaking it up and getting rid of the
It
frame
shows what the
somehow.
state of it is. We've got a lot of use out of it, just not in good condition anymore.
Was it mobile bookmobile at one point, I think?
Yeah, it
something
was.
like that?
Going
The
back.
original library.
Yeah.
So it's probably 50, 60 years old.
Second constituent piece of this $45,000 is a lawnmower, $20,000. That was requested by DPW, which needs to be replaced, right, Mike?
They're replacing a 1992.
92, yeah.
That I guess it's just has a usable life, and we're probably past it.
Right. And then the final thing, we're required to do an upgrade of our fire alarm services in the municipal buildings, a matter of public safety. So we've got to replace that. That's $20,000. These purchases are going to improve services that benefit our residents, and that's why we introduced the ordinance last time. Anyone else comment by introduction? None. Okay, we're open to the public. Does anyone would like to comment on this ordinance before we vote? Okay, hearing none, without objection, we're closed to the public. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Okay, Linda?
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes, I appreciate that we've done so well with this equipment. We've used these things a long time and got a lot of use out of it. I feel that's been really helpful to our residents, and we've been very fiscally conservative to make sure that we got the full value, and we'd like to continue these services, and we believe this is an effective way to do it, so I appreciate the work of DPW, Environmental Commission, all the folks in the Township Committee for this. Item 12 on the agenda, ordinance 24-10.
Capital ordinance providing for various 2024 general capital improvements by and in the Township of East Amwell in the County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, appropriating $100,000, therefore from the Capital Improvement Fund to pay for the cost thereof.
Okay, this is another one from our Capital Improvement Fund. This is where we've put money away over time for important capital projects for our residents. This particular ordinance, 24-10, is for roadway pavement improvements in and throughout the township, included but not limited to chip seal, road repairs, benefit our residents. We've been doing our best to stay ahead of the roads and keep those into good service for the residents. We feel that's what this ordinance will do. It's money that we have in our capital improvement fund. Anyone else comments by way of introduction?
No.
Okay, so same thing, we're open to the public, in case anyone would like to speak on this ordinance before we vote. Francis?
What are the specifics improvements that you're doing with this capital $100,000?
This
Jen,
is-
you just-
Do you wanna
or
go?
Mike, you wanna-
Go.
It's mostly for chip sealing, is what we're gonna do to cover the roads. The road improvements are in there just by way if he was to need it for that, but it's mostly for chip sealing. Last year, we did a lot of road improvements, but we didn't get to the chip sealing, so that's what this is gonna focus on this
What
year.
roads are getting chip sealed? So
It's a
bicyclists
number.
know
It's-
when to be annoyed.
No, I know. I think I don't have that list in front of me now, but I think we talked about it last month, so it's probably on the record. I think North Hill, cause he skim coated North Hill to take out all the potholes. Now that'll get chip sealed and, look like, one smoother surface.
And
Stony Brook,
Yeah, it's on the mountain, yeah.
and, there was a third one, and it eludes me. I don't know the third one, but it's 3 roads that he wants to get done this
Maybe
year.
put the list up on the website.
Yeah, we
We
can take a look, either provide it or put it up, sure.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Yeah, this was a more, a general one that's not like, it's not like, phase 2 of Mountain Road or something. This is for various places, but we'll put it up, Francis, good idea.
Okay.
So we've opened to the public, right? No member of the public wants to comment? Okay, may I have a motion to adopt this ordinance?
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Second, Linda?
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes.
And just to go back to the roads, if people sign up for the alerts online too, we notify them when the chip sealing's happening so they know to not go near those roads.
Yeah, but the bicyclists come from out of town.
True.
They just,
Yeah, it's messy for a few days, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, a good suggestion, we'll do that. And again, this is one where we're pleased that we've been putting money away to take care of these things, especially, our infrastructure is important to residents, and so I think this is gonna be very beneficial. Up to 13 on the agenda, ordinance 24-11.
An ordinance to amend the code of the Township of East Amwell, Chapter 47, smoke alarms.
Mike, do you wanna give an intro on this?
For years, East Amwell had a gentleman, this is mainly for the residential resales. He's notified us that he's retiring. For folks that were here last month, you saw we brought in, Raritan Township came and made a presentation. There's gonna be a cost to their service. Our other option was to send it all back to the state. That's not gonna cost East Amwell money. So we went with door number 2, the option to go back to the state. That's what, this ordinance is gonna, I guess, change the language from what we currently have, Linda, to recognize the state. There is, I haven't seen it myself, but Linda mentioned to me that there is gonna be like a portal that folks might have to sign into. If I'm wrong, Linda, you can correct me.
Sign up for an account and then
Yes.
fill out information, pay online.
So there'll be an extra step for folks that instead of just coming in here and filling out a form. But we are conservative in the interest of not spending the $10,000. I have no doubt that we would get professional top-notch service from Raritan Township, but professional top-notch service comes at a cost. When this hurdle or extra step was brought to my attention, when folks are selling their house, they typically have a lawyer, an attorney, and a real estate agent that they're working with. They can help those folks do that work if it's something that a resident can't overcome. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, but it's a change, but that's why I'm talking about it. But I don't think anybody's going to have a problem when they have 2 professionals working for them in a sale, so I think that'd be in good shape.
And you can do that portal from your house, right?
You can do it from your smartphone, right.
So that's
right.
saving
Save the
stuff,
trip.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I think once we get through the initial few people, it'll be just like the way it's supposed to be.
Thanks for the explanation and your work on that, Mike. It's a lot to investigate, how to change things up when we've had a long-time employee who's retiring. And, a lot of times the old ways that towns do it no longer work so well with the modern stuff.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we learned along the way here that certifications may or may not be by code, but it's recommended. Mike did a little research for me. Mike G did. We heard from Dennis Kincana from Raritan Township that this is what he does for a living, and he suggested a certified person needs to do it, and I think the state's in agreement with that. So we can't one of us just can't run over there and check the smoke detectors.
Yeah,
So,
from a public safety point of view,
Yeah.
I feel much more confident that someone who's certified is saying so that
Right.
residents don't have a problem, with the fire at the residence. So.
Yeah, so I think that this is the direction to go.
Okay, may I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second?
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Abstention, none. Okay, thank you for that. Item 14, consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve resolutions number 2024-77 through 2024-85 as filed in the office of the Township Clerk?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, well,
Yep.
somewhere in there we gotta move in a second. Who's the official second there, Linda?
Mike, I think.
Okay.
All right.
I guess he got you by a
Yep.
second there.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ms. Casper Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Enton,
Yes.
Mr. Nardi.
Yes.
Mr. Dendis,
Yes.
Mayor DePiero.
Yes. Okay, 15 on the agenda, other resolutions, 2024-86. Want me to read it?
You want me to read it?
Yeah, either way.
Resolution of support calling upon the Veterans Administration to create a community access point in Hunterdon County.
Mike, you the right one to explain this, or?
I'm still reading the other.
Oh, sorry.
Where are we at?
Uh,
86?
Yes, 2024-86. I'll give it initials, or.
I
Jen,
wasn't
think
part
Jen's
of
gonna-
this. No, I wasn't part of this one. I was reading 85. I didn't know if folks wanted to talk about that one, the grant that we applied for, but that's fine.
Did you want to talk about that?
No, only if folks want to talk about it. It was a busy, for the summer, it was a busy month. We applied for 2 grants, and that's part of this consent agenda, and I was hoping to talk about it, but we're fine.
Okay. Jenna, did you want to speak on the 2024-86, or I'm happy to?
You can go to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my understanding is that the Veterans Administration has pointed out that they provide service to members of the community. There is not an access point that's very close to where we are. So the advantage of calling for, and this is something that the county supports, would be to create another community access point in Hunterdon County, which would allow our residents to get the benefits of the Veterans Administration. So they've called on us to be part of that, to help our residents. And so personally, I think it's a good idea.
I agree with that, being a veteran myself.
I was gonna say, speak, Mr.
Yeah.
Veteran.
Yeah, as a veteran, I mean, Hunterdon County is a lot closer than Morris, County or
Yeah.
any other counties in New Jersey. I think it's a wonderful thing for our veterans.
Agreed.
What would it constitute?
I-
Office
A
or
public
person?
health nursing office.
Yeah, there's already a county space that they're gonna make the space available. It just needs to be designated.
Okay, I didn't know if Ringo's or not.
Yeah, no, it's not in Ringo's. I think it's probably the one in Flemington, in the county office. But the county's making the space available, but they need to get, that's to entice the Veterans Administration to say, yes, we can have. Any other questions from anyone? May I have a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all, does roll call or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero.
Yes. Okay, we're up to, still in item 15, 2024-87, which is open space preservation parcel under 31. Mike, would you want to give a little intro on that?
Finally, I get to talk about one of my grants. We got a call, an email from DNR Greenway looking for support to preserve a piece of land off of Route 31. It's a small parcel, but it by putting this into preservation, it'll preserve a contiguous tract of forest, stream on the property. Homeowner, or I should say the owner of the property, actually approached them, so they're in the process of some back and forth on negotiations. But they're looking for a resolution of support from East Amwell that we would like to support them on this. They will be asking us to contribute something. Probably it'll come from our open space fund, but they're in the process now where they want a letter or resolution of support from us, and they're going to take it to the county to try to get matching funds. So. I think anytime we can preserve land, this apparently, from what I'm told, this is possibly could be used as a building lot. So I think it's good that they preserve it. I think that's what the family wants.
Yeah, I think what Mike's saying there is, a lot of times in the preservation community, when you're looking at a parcel, you look to see whether that parcel is developable. Because if, like this parcel, it's right next to open space already. If it's something that has important resources like this one does, if it's also buildable, those environmental features go away with that construction. So when there's an opportunity to preserve it, it adds to not only the amount of land that we've preserved in our township, but it protects those values as well. So that is the situation, as Mike's saying here, and it's an important parcel because it's connecting other parcels of a similar type that are there. And as Mike said, we already have money in our open space fund for this kind of thing, and it's not going to be very much money that we'd have to put into it. We've been talking to all of our partners there, our private nonprofit partners, to work with them to try to find parcels, farmland and open space parcels in our community that might be appropriate for preservation. And so we were pleased to get this call from this partner to tell us that this one had come forward. So the resolution is on the agenda tonight because we think it would be important to move forward and to do some more open space preservation.
Where is it?
It's
I don't have the block and
31.
lot, I mean, the
Yeah.
block and lot number somewhere, I just don't have
Route
it here.
31.
it's the south side of town,
South of
just before you leave, going into Hopewell.
You know, it's my neighbor's property.
Okay.
It's a small lot right on Route 31. It's really not developable because the Peters Brook, a tributary Peters Brook, runs through into the Stony Brook, and it's mostly rock.
The understanding that we got through the appraisal system, though, it is a grandfathered in buildable lot.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But
Right.
Yeah.
But,
today with stormwater management and septic, you would never get it in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is it's why it's a good thing to preserve because of those facts, even though someone legally might want to jam it in anyway. So I think it's.
we're not buying it out from underneath you, are we?
No, no.
Okay.
She-
You've already looked at it,
It's
obviously.
an obscene price that she wants. She wants $160,000, and it's really in Ringo's opinion, it's might be grandfathered as a building lot, but building lots in my area are supposed to be 15 acres.
Right, this goes back before the change of the zoning. That's why, that's one of the reasons why when they brought it to us, they did the background on it, found out that it is grandfathered in, so I thought it's important that, why let it's better to preserve it than let a house go up there, especially when we're not gonna carry the whole cost.
Right.
So that's why I think it's a good thing to
No
preserve.
argument for me.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve resolution 2024-87?
Yeah, so moved, sorry.
Second?
All right, thank you.
Ms. Casper Bloom.
Yes.
Ms. Ensign.
Yes.
Mr. Nardi.
Yes.
Mr. Dendis.
Yes.
Mayor DePiero.
Yes. So you didn't get to speak, Mike, and then after that,
I know,
you
then
were
I
done.
lost that moment.
All right, item 16, does anyone on the dais have any other new business to raise at this time? Yeah, haven't gotten on the agenda ready. Okay, hearing none. This the evening. Do we need a?
No, just go to
approve
17, I guess.
Okay, good. I mean, do we need a resolution to approve the bills of the evening?
Oh, yeah, we need a motion to approve the bill.
That's what I thought.
Sorry, I
Okay.
thought you were still on 16.
No, that's okay, just checking. Do I have a motion to approve the bills of the evening?
So moved.
Thank you. Second, anyone?
Second.
Okay, second.
Ms. Casper Bloom.
Yes.
Ms. Ensign. Mr. Nardi.
Yes.
Mr. Dendis.
Yes.
Mayor DePiero.
Yes. Okay, approval of administrative reports. Construction DPW. All right, make it a motion to approve the administrative reports.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, thank you. Voice or?
I don't need, nope.
Excellent. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, abstention, none. Okay, correspondence, folks have seen in the packet. Anyone want to comment on any of the correspondence?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, we're up to item 20 on the agenda. We're open to the public. This time. It's such an efficient meeting. Francis, I knew it.
Point there, no. Just wanting to stress again that as you acquire property, construct property, approve properties, whichever ways you do, that you do whatever you can to create easements and ways to where trail networks can connect, because currently the Amwell Valley Trail Network is essentially gutted by people who have fenced in mine essential part of the community, and that, you know, it's, appreciate the transparency.
Let me just ask, I wanna, I agree with you, but how do we force them to do that? Like-
So,
Ask Gail Gardner or
Well,
Fred Gardner.
well, yeah, you could ask me, so,
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So, you know, when the preservation is for open space, there is a
Right.
requirement that there be some sort of access to it. So I would imagine that, as part of this process, if Green Acres funding is going toward this,
Mhm.
that'll be a requirement. It's done in
That
various ways.
that they can put the trail system through it.
Yeah, well, that there will be public access.
Right,
It's
public
not determined
access.
what it is, so.
Can these private partners limit the horses?
Well, so the question would be, you know, what type of public access is
Right.
allowed? And typically they look to see what's appropriate. So I
Okay.
would suggest that if members of the public or a township committee, you know, feel that connecting there would be important
Mm-hmm.
for, like, the horse trail system, for example, they
Half
can
of them
speak
are
up to try to
hikers
get
that
that.
are part of the AVTA, but there's also, you know,
And sometimes there is a little divergence of opinion between folks who hike and folks who ride horses.
Right.
Sometimes the hikers say, oh, the horses, you know, are mudding it up, making too many
Right.
divots or problems. But those, I mean, those can usually get resolved by whoever gets the easements
Okay.
for the property or buys the property. We're not gonna be the owner or required to maintain it, but we would
Right.
have input.
Okay.
So I would say, if, you know, Francis
yeah,
Cummins
the
is right.
change in owners with Bryce Thompson's death, the attorney that is handling everything is requiring an individual bond and assurance in perpetuity, which makes it impossible for people even with $1 million policies to do it, because are you gonna, you know, tie your future? And so all of the, if you look on the maps, all of the land that used to be trail networks and stuff is gone, and then you've got people who are either doing hunting and or other stuff, and have just sort of fenced up to the edge of the property without being good neighbors. And possibly the same way you notify people buying property that this is a right to farm, then maybe something that would alert people moving in here that this is an agricultural and an equine and a recreational, and part of being a good neighbor is to respect their land, but also to work with people, at least put people on notice. You can't mandate it, but if somebody wants something, I mean, Fred was a great one for saying, you know, hey, okay, you want something from me, well, then we wanna have, a trail easement, or we wanna have something, and you were involved with some of them, you know, and things like that, so.
Francis, is there anyone affiliated with the Trail Association that is like coming up with a plan or an approach to try to help make it possible, you know, systematically through East Amwell for those trails being usable again?
Not that I'm that aware of. I mean, a lot of people have aged out. The county is a big one for wanting all the trails across the county to have connectivity, like with South Park and all different things. Maybe inviting the Trail Association, the Hunt, and others to come and have a working session here with some maps to try to come up with something that then can be built on, just like Mike did a whole lot of homework on things for squads and whatever. We could do the same thing, but when people fence every square inch of their property, they're diverting the deer and the coyotes and everything else, some of which are varmints, onto your neighbor's property. And that's not very neighborly. And animals that are used to going through, they end up in the roads and end up being a reason your car insurance goes up.
So I think that's a good point. Go ahead, Bob.
But I think there's two issues. One is for preserved farms, you can put in the requirement
Right.
for an easement. But if it's just someone's private property, they have the option to say, sure, you can have the trail
No,
on
but
my
if-
property or not. Like, and I get annoyed too, cause
Yeah.
where I am, there have been people who
People are rude.
who had trails, and then there's signs up now that it's closed, and it's like, you know, as a hiker, it's like, well, how do I get into? You can't get into the trail to hike. Some people have signs up, horses only, no hikers, and it's like, all right, like
Or during hunting
I can't
season and things
get
like
in
that.
there.
But a lot of times, what you can do is when they're coming and they say, I want to build my McMansion, and my setback is going to be short this much, and I want you to accommodate me. That's when you get to be a little bit of a Jersey bargainer, and you start saying, hi, Quid, can we have some pro and go quo? And you do that. It's a negotiation. And if there are people in the community that get together, then that can be, you know, it can be helpful. The hunt has a farmer's banquet or whatever in the summer, and it's a way of saying thank you, and all the people come together and all of that sort of stuff. But, you know, we could do with some manners in this country and in this world, and maybe we can start here. You know, one of those be nice campaigns and be a good neighbor.
Thank you
Can't
for the
hurt.
input.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Francis.
Likely to help, but can't hurt.
Okay, anyone else, something to say in public before we, close? All right, well, I appreciate that we're close to the public without objection. Anything further? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Al? All right,
Thank you.
second.
Second.
All right, Janet, all right.
Second.
Hey, I was just the
I
time to
know.
stop.
Yeah, you know
Uh,
me.
And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda, before I'm done with all this, I'm gonna have to get you to explain to me why we take a vote sometimes and other times we just say aye.
Yeah, he's down the shore right now.
I'm gonna have to go
Just-
look that up if you
but-
want
but-
me to explain it to
Think
you.
of the gravity, like the gravity part of it, right?
Robert